Mahabharata, Chapter 33, Drona's Vow, read by Nirvan Bajaj, Ikveer Bajaj and Siana Zaberi. Mahabharata, Chapter 33, Drona's Vow. Vaishampayan then continued, O king, the fall of Bhishma plunged the Kaurav army in grief. The hapless warriors called upon Karna to save them from the doom that seemed certain. The grief-stricken Kauravas remembered Karna then.
The time has come for Karna to come to our aid. He had promised to abstain from the war as long as Bhishma was alive. Yes, this is the opportunity for him to prove his valor. Let us summon him.
Rising to the occasion, Karna arrived riding his chariot to meet the grief-stricken Duryodhana. Karna thought to himself, the mighty Bhishma has fallen. It is as if the sun itself has fallen from the skies. The Kaurav forces have been orphaned and demoralized. I must protect them as ably as did Bhishma. And then Karna said aloud, Give me, O warriors, the best of weapons and equipment, so that I may discharge my duty of protecting you at this hour of distress. Karna's chariot was then filled with weapons and all the Kaurav warriors were happy. Karna prepared himself fully for the battle ahead. Duryodhana then said, O Karna, I regard you as the man who can save us after Bhishma. Behold these great warriors and tell me who among them is fit to be our next commander-in-chief. Karna replied, O king, not only is Drona the senior most among us, but he has also been a teacher to most of us. There is none among us who will not follow a leader like Drona. Hence, I would advise you to appoint this venerable warrior our next commander-in-chief. Duryodhana said to Drona, O lion among men, I beseech you to be our commander-in-chief and to lead us into battle. Drona replied, O king, I am well versed in all the martial arts. I accept your offer, but on one condition. I shall fight unto death all the Pandav warriors except Drishtadyumna, for he is destined to kill me. Duryodhana then performed the ceremony of Drona as the commander-in-chief of the Kaurav forces. Drona then arrayed the Kaurav forces and proceeded to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. With the mighty Kaurav warriors by his side, Drona launched a fierce attack on the Pandav army. The Pandav forces were scattered before the onslaught. Yudhishthira said to Arjuna and Drishtadyumna, We must stop Drona. While Drona said to Duryodhana, O king, by giving me the command of the forces you have bestowed in honor on me, tell me what may I do to please you. Duryodhana said, Revered one, if you wish to please me, seize Yudhishthira and bring him before me. Drona asked, O king, you want me only to capture him? You don't want him to be killed? Duryodhana replied, Because, O venerable one, Yudhishthira's death will spend not my victory, but my doom. If Yudhishthira is killed, the rest of the Pandavas will never spare our lives. Instead, if Yudhishthira is captured and again persuaded to play dice with me, he will lose in the game. The Pandavas will once again be banished into the forest. Drona was thoughtful. I should have suspected his wicked motive. He then laid down a condition. So as long as Yudhishthira is under the protection of Arjun, I cannot capture him. So you must separate Arjun from Yudhishthira. O king, Duryodhana knew that the Drona had a soft corner for the Pandavas. He therefore made a public announcement of Drona's promise so that he could not go back on his words. When Yudhishthira got to know of Drona's resolve, he spoke to Arjun. O Arjun, you are aware of Drona's intent as well as the condition laid down by him. Think of a strategy that will ensure that I will be under your protection every time. Arjun replied, O king, it is as reprehensible incomprehensible for me to kill my teacher as it is to abandon you. Hence, I shall not let either happen. The sky may fall to pieces and the earth may split asunder, but Drona will not take you captive as long as I am alive. After the brief conference among the Pandavas, the war was resumed by the belligerent armies. Drona attacked and scattered Drishtadyumna's forces. King Paurav and Abhimanyu tormented one another with a volley of arrows. Paurav managed to break Abhimanyu's bow to pieces. Abhimanyu then took up a sword and a shield and charged at Paurav. He climbed onto Paurav's chariot, grabbed him by his hair, and flung Paurav off his chariot. An enraged Jayadratha could not tolerate Paurav being humbled. Thus he jumped off his chariot in a fury. Seeing Jayadratha coming, Abhimanyu rushed at him. Both fought with matchless valor. Jayadratha struck Abhimanyu's shield, but his sword was smashed into pieces. Jayadratha rushed back to his chariot. Abhimanyu too returned to his chariot and was soon surrounded by several Kaurav warriors. Abhimanyu fought them bravely. Shalya released a powerful weapon on Abhimanyu, but Abhimanyu grabbed it by his hand and sent it back to Shalya. The weapon killed the charioteer and flung Shalya off his chariot. The Pandavas cheered Abhimanyu. Victory to Abhimanyu! Highly enraged, Shalya rushed at Abhimanyu with a mace. Abhimanyu too took up a mace, but Bhima intervened, and he said, "Let me deal with him, Abhimanyu." Bhima and Shalya had a terrible combat with maces, and Bhima knocked Shalya unconscious. Narrating the war to the blind Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya said, "O king, the Kauravas took the heavily wounded Shalya away from the battlefield." Vaishnapan continued. Drona told his charioteer, "Take my chariot close to Yudhishthira's." The Pandav warriors tried the best to contain Drona's advance, but Drona soon reached close to Yudhishthira. The Pandav soldiers were panic-stricken. Alas, Yudhishthira is killed. But Arjun charged up to the defense of Yudhishthira. Unable to withstand Arjun's onslaught, Drona was forced to retreat. At sundown, the tired armies returned to their camps. An embarrassed Drona said to Duryodhana, "I had told you, O king, that Yudhishthira is inaccessible to me as long as Arjun is shielding him. But if somebody challenges Arjun to a battle and lures him away, I shall be able to take Yudhishthira captive." So Sharma, the king of three gods, said, "Give us an assignment, O king. Arjun has time and again insulted us and we are burning with a desire for revenge. We want to kill him." The Kaurav warriors evolved a strategy for the next day's war. The Kauravas now brought the previous night's plan into operation the next morning. Arjun will be lured away by the Samshapataks, who are mercenaries who have vowed to fight the battle to death. The goal is close at hand. The valiant Bhagadat can deal with the remaining Pandav army. Bhagadat attacked Bhima in the chariot. Bhagadat's elephant trampled the chariot underfoot, but Bhima knew how to bring a raging elephant under control. He quickly ducked under the elephant's belly. As he stroked the elephant on the belly, the beast quieted down, and he thought to himself, "I must wait for another elephant to come this way." Unable to see Bhima anywhere, the Pandav army panicked.
Alas, Bhima has been killed by this elephant.
Bhima then escaped quietly from underneath the elephant. Yudhishthira and his forces attacked Bhagadat's elephant, who was now on the rampage again after Bhima's escape. The elephant gathered up Satyaki's chariot in his trunk and hurled it at far. Arjun was alarmed by the wild fury of the elephant. He told Krishna, "O Krishna, Bhagadat's elephant is playing havoc with our army. Take the chariot to him. I shall." Suddenly a call arose from the northern quarter. "Arjun, Arjun, come hither, fight with us." Arjun was now on the horns of a dilemma. He thought to himself, "The Samshaptakas are daring me to fight. Should I accept the challenge or bring Bhagadat's elephant to heel? I cannot let a challenge for battle go unanswered." Turning to the Samshapataks, Arjun launched a merciless attack on them. The Chamtaks were well matched against Arjun. They harassed him and his charioteer Krishna greatly. So thick was the air with the arrows and weapons that Krishna lost sight of Arjun. He said, "Where are you, Arjun? Are you still alive?" Hearing this, Arjun drew out the one and only Brahmastra and released it. Perceiving the destructive power of Arjun, Krishna said, "Very well done, O Arjun. You have destroyed thousands of Samshaptakas with a single arrow." Arjun said, "Take me to Bhagadat now." Arjun's chariot advanced towards Bhagadat riding his elephant. As the elephant charged Arjun menacingly, Arjun thought to himself, "I will not kill the elephant." Krishna suddenly turned the chariot and away and let the beast pass. It was against the rules of warfare to attack somebody without warning him. Then Arjun blew the elephant's armor to pieces. Tortured by Arjun's arrows, Bhagadat now released the powerful Vaishnava weapon against Arjun. Shielding Arjun from the all-destroying weapon, Krishna let it fall on his own chest. And the weapon changed into a resplendent garland adorning the Lord's bosom. But Arjun was pained to see this. "O Krishna, it is not proper that you break your vow on not taking part in the war. You should let me do the fighting while I can and only come to my rescue when I am helpless." Krishna smiled. "That is precisely what I have done, Arjun. Many years ago, Prithvi, the goddess Earth, approached me when I was in the form of Vishnu.
"O Lord, give my son the most powerful weapon."
And I had replied, "So be it." Arjun, I gave this all-destroying, unconquerable weapon to Naraksura, and Bhagadat obtained it from him. Who can endure the terrible impact of such a weapon but me? O Arjun, I have protected you by depriving him of the weapon. Proceed now to kill him." In one shot, Arjun sent Bhagadat's elephant to its death. And then Krishna told Arjun, "O Arjun, look carefully at Bhagadat. He is a very old man but very valorous. His eyelids are kept open by a piece of cloth around his forehead." Arjun next aimed his arrow at the cloth band and tore it away. With another arrow, he put an end to the life of Bhagadat. Arjun then swiftly turned to confront the two sons of Shakuni who were raining arrows on him. He killed both of them. This enraged Shakuni, who brought forth his illusory powers to confound Arjun. Fierce beasts rose to threaten Arjun on all sides. Arjun destroyed them and dispelled the darkness by the weapon of light, the Jyoti Astra. Seeing the illusion destroyed, Shakuni fled on his swift horse. Tormented by Arjun's fury, the Kaurava army ran helter-skelter. In their extreme bewilderment and fear, they even attacked each other. The fleeing helpless Kauravas called out, "Karna, O Karna! Save us, O Karna!" And Karna came to the rescue. "Fear not, my men, I am here to protect you." Karna killed a lot of the Pandav forces, and at last Karna tried to confront Arjun, but could not bear Arjun's wrath for long and fled the field. The frightened Kauravas followed suit. The settling sun signaled the end to the hostilities for the day, much to the relief of both armies. Duryodhana was disheartened since his plan to capture Yudhishthir had failed. The next morning, before the war started, Duryodhana approached Drona and said, "Are we your foes, O grandsire? You have still not captured Yudhishthir. How is it that you have failed in your resolve? You gave me your word, and are you now going back on it? Does this befit a great man like you?" Drona was hurt and unhappy. He made a vow. "O king, do not consider me a traitor. I am doing my best to fulfill your wish. I give you solemn my word, O king, that I will certainly slay one of the great Maharathis of the Pandav army before sundown." The 13th day of the war dawned, O king, spelling disaster for the Pandavas. And thus ends the 33rd session of our rendering of Vaishampayan's recital. of Vyasa's immortal Ityasa, the Mahabharata. Stay tuned for Mahabharata chapter 34, and it is called The Slaying of Abhimanyu. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share and comment on this video. Thank you.